Hello, I'm Anna Mackay and this video is on the binomial distribution, and it's the second of two videos, and this video is one example using lots of different functions of the binomial and using our graphics calculator. So let's have a look here. In netball, Kim has 4 shots at goal. Her chance of scoring a goal with one shot is 0.3 or 30%. Calculate the probability of scoring. We're going to do 7 different parts. So first of all, 4 goals. So what's the chance of her scoring exactly 4? Remember from our last video that this is the official formula. So we're going to do a combination of doing it by hand, which is using the run mode, and then also using our stats mode. So each time around we must write out a probability statement. So we want, so capital P, what's the probability of scoring? And we always write X is equal to, and in this case, 4. So we'll do this one using the NCR formula. So our N is the number of trials. So that is 4 shots at goal. So there's our 4 going there. And the number of successes, in this case, we want 4 as well, because we want 4 goals. Next, the probability of a success is 0.3. And next to it is the probability of a fail, which will be 0.7. And at the top we write the power of how many successes we want, 4, and here how many fails we want. And remember that the power that goes here plus this power must equal that power, so we've got a 0 there. We're going to work that out in our calculators in a minute, and we'll come back and write the answer. But while we're on this screen, let's write out the statement for 3 goals. So your probability statement first, at least 3. So does that include 3 or not? Yes, it does. So greater than or equal to 3. Now, whenever you get one of the questions like this, here's my suggestion. Create a visual for yourself. So if here are the combinations of different goals that we can get, let's circle the ones that we're after in this case. At least 3. So we want 3 or more. So now it's easy to see, okay, so we have to write a statement that involves 3 and going up. I suppose if on this video it's probably going that way. So when we come to do this in our stat mode, the type of information that you need to write, particularly heading in towards an exam, of what the examiners need to see, let me show you. So off to the side we write the numbers that we're going to be putting into our calculator. So the order that they will go in is called our lower and then upper bound. So we write L, U, and then N and P. So our lower bound will be 3, our upper bound will be 4. So we write L is 3, upper bound is 4, N, so that's our N that we're used to from this formula here, so that's 4. And the probability is 0.3. That's the amount of setting out that you need. You don't write in the binomial CDF and PDF stuff because that's unique to Casio calculators. TI calculators write it in slightly different ways, whereas this is universal. And then you write that off to the side so that the examiners can see what input you are putting into your calculator, and then you would write your answer here. So let's go to our calculators now. So I have to switch screens. Okay, so here we are. We've got the 4 goals and the 3 goals. So first of all, we're going to go in run mode and use that NCR again, so a refresher. So we had 4, and then we use option, arrow across, probability, NCR, 4 again. You must put the multiply in here. Then the probability of a success, and to the power of 4, multiplied by the probability of a fail. Well, technically you don't have to write this because it's to the power of 0, which will be the equivalent of 1, but it's good practice. Enter, and here we are. Off to the side here, I've written it out in numerical form, standard form, 0.0081. That's the same as that. Please write it like this. Well, you can write it in proper scientific notation if you go 10 to the power of -3. You cannot write using an E. and E means you don't know what you're talking about, you have to interpret what the calculator's done and make that 10 to the power of -3. So that's how you do that one in your run mode. Now, going into stat mode. So menu 2 for stat. So following along, we want distribution. We've got two main types we use, normal and binomial. We're using binomial here. Now, for our PDF, the first one that we're doing is 4 goals. So that's working out exactly 4 goals, not between a number, exactly on a number. The binomial probability distribution, pretty sure what that means, and BCD is binomial cumulative distribution. So cumulative, adding up lots of things, but the P one is exactly on 1. So we want no, we don't want that. Hang on, whoops, my apologies. Here we go. So if mine had list there, we're not using a list, we're using variables, we're putting them in. So here's the order, X and P. Our X is we want 4 goals. Our N is 4 trials, and our P is 0.3. And enter, and the calculator gives us the same. So that's how you use 2 modes. Now, doing part 2 here, at least 3 goals. That is, as we said, between 3 and 4. So back into distribution, binomial, BCD this time. So here's our lower, we wanted 3, our upper bound is 4, and the calculator remembers your N and your P, so that's handy. Enter, and there's your answer. So make sure you're writing your answer next to the working out that you did. Okay, back to my other screen, and we're doing some different ones now. So what are the chances, the probability of getting no goals? So that's our probability statement would be P of X is equal to 0 in this case. And off to the side, write what we're going to do. So we've got X, N, P here. Our X is no goals, N is 4, P is 0.3. Notice that they stay the same during the whole question. So we'll come back and put that in a minute. Now, at least 1 goal. This is where it's really handy to create a visual for yourself. At least 1 means 1 or more. So all of these ones here. So we could sit there adding them up one at a time. Or this is a really classic type of question that you'll get asked where they want to see that you understand the idea of a complement. So if the probabilities of all of these scenarios add up to 1, then the way that we work out this question is the probability of 1 subtract off the probability of 0. And often you'll get asked that where you'll have already worked out the probability of 0 beforehand. So it's trying to get you to see that you need to use what you've done before in the next question. So be on the lookout for at least 1 and no goals or whatever it is. That gets asked a lot. So what do we need to write out? The probability of X is at least 1 is 1 subtract the probability of X equals to 0. And then we will put that in our calculator. So we're going to go back and do that. Now this here, well actually I might just tell you for saving some time here. Part 3 comes out to be 0.2401, and then that's the number that we use in part 4 here. So 1 subtract 0.2401, and that's equal to 0.7599. Okay, do I need to show you that in your calculators? No, you should probably be right. So this one you use BPD, and here you would actually need to use your run mode to do 1 subtract that. And the last 3 that we're going to work out now are between 1 and 3 inclusive goals. Again, this is really handy to have this idea, the visual here, between 1 and 3. So you can see that you need to have 1 as your lower and 3 as your upper bound. So let's write that out. So off to the side we would write lower, upper, N and P. Our lower is 1, our upper is 3, n is 4, p is 0.3, and our probability statement is we want between 1 and 3, capital letter X each time, and we will come back and put the answer there. 2 goals in any order. So that's the chance of getting 2, exactly 2. So our probability statement is X is equal to 2, and that's going to be a BPD function. So that's X N P. This may seem tedious, but it's going to save you, in case you ever make a mistake, it's going to be easy to backtrack. So the chance of 2, we'll work this out in a minute, and then 2 goals and 2 misses. So 2 goals in any order meant you could get 1, miss 1, get 1, miss 1, and then all the different combinations. Whereas this is a specific combination of this. So how do you write out that probability statement? There's no real right or wrong here, because it's slightly different. I might write out goal, goal, miss, miss. And so the chances of getting that are, you go through it one at a time. So what's the chances of getting a goal? Well, that's 0.3. Then times by chance of getting another goal. And then times by the 2 probabilities of missing. And then that's just simply worked out in your run mode, just as a number, not using the stat mode at all. So I'm just going to go off to the calculator and show you how to do 5 and 6. So switching over here, here we are, between 1 and 3 goals inclusive. Right, so between 1 and 3, we are in our stat mode. Here we are, distribution, binomial, CDF this time. We have a lower and an upper. We want 1 and 3. N and P have stayed the same. Here we are, 0.7518. That's what I predicted that we were going to get. 2 goals in any order. That'll be a BPD function. I'll just do that one quickly. This time we want 2 there. 0.2646, there we are. And down the bottom here, I've already worked out the probability of 2 goals and then 2 misses. So that's the end of this video. The next one in the series is called the mean and standard deviation of a binomial distribution. Thank you.